Hi, fellow musicians and music lovers. To my left is Sandy, or Sandra D. She's come to be known. I'm Shawn. We are part of the musical collective Sacred and Secular. We also comprise the duo The Shektones, and we are two-thirds of the cover project, the S&R
Highway.
Knew is some form of getting from
We're
here
going
to there.
some way.
We're going some way. This is under consideration. If you're new to this show, welcome, and I'll explain a little bit of the background. We devote each episode to an issue that we're taking under consideration and/or we encourage you to take under consideration. It's a low-budget, off-the-cuff show. So, for example, if you hear some trills from Sandra D's cats here in Ray County, where we're recording this, salute to Ray County,
Yep.
old hee-haw bit. That's why. So for this episode, we're encouraging you as music lovers and or musicians to consider Gloria. And we're not referring to the song that U2 recorded, I think, off of the band's first album, which is Boy, that was released in 1980. However, it is another Irish-based artist. In this case, I think it's Northern Ireland. We're talking about the Gloria that Van Morrison wrote, that his band Them recorded in the mid-'60s, has had some notable cover versions. Where I first heard it, The Shadows of Night, that released a version in 1966 off its debut album that hit the top 10 on the Billboard charts and here in America. Also covered, if memory serves, by The Doors, and I want to say was released off the band's debut album. And then also notably covered in the mid-'70s, released off of her debut album Horses, by Patti Smith, where she remakes it and does an interesting arrangement with it. So what we're encouraging you to do, well, we'll start with the musicians first. If you're in a cover band, we encourage you to take under consideration covering this song if you don't already. It's
about as basic and about as doable as Louie Louie.
Yes, 3 chords and the truth.
That's exactly right.
You don't have to. You don't have to have. You don't have to have the chops of, say, Eddie Van Halen. May he rest in peace. Although, because it's a 3/4, generally in E D and A. E D and A. And it's got that basic 3-chord structure. You can do a lot with it. When we were part of a group called El Solo and the Responders, and we would play monthly jams at the Lexington, Missouri VFW over in Lafayette County, which borders Ray County, where we're recording this, we would extend it into about a 7 or 8 minute jam. I think the original version is maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But you can do a lot of stuff. And part of the reason for that was because one of the jam band members' wives was Gloria McFadden. She loved to hear that. So we would play it. So it's one thing, it's easy to play, it's all major chords, and it gives you freedom to improvise. If you're a singer, something that you might consider is saving it until later in your set list, because it lends itself to belting, as I will attest, because I was the one that usually sang it. And so, and it's just something that later in the day, when you're kind of wanting to keep people up, but also kind of push them toward the end of it, it's a good
attention grabber for those people in the audience that, a lot of the garage bands did Louie Louie. This is one that a lot of garage bands didn't do. But it's just as iconic, I think.
Yeah. And if you're a listener, I'd encourage you to go through the versions and find them. I'll try to post links in the description for this episode where that you can listen and kind of chart the progression. We were discussing, it's kind of like Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. It's taken on a life of its own based on people's interpretations of it.
Yeah.
And so we encourage you to consider listening to it. If you're a musician, and especially in your cover band, consider playing it, especially if you're, say, starting out as a guitar player. It's relatively simple to play.
Relatively simple, yes.
Something we would also encourage you to take under consideration if you're a percussionist or a drummer is it tends to work best if you do a basic kind of a basic 4 on the floor with a backbeat. We had a drummer or two that was part of the jam band who had somehow turned it into kind of a shuffle like this. Well, it's almost got kind of a shuffle or polka feel, and if you're a singer, the feel for that and part of it's just kind of my experience of having listened to the song and wanting to interpret the song. It tends to lend itself better to a basic 4 on the floor backbeat.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's all for now. Again, take it under consideration.
Have fun with it, basically, yeah.
Yes, have fun with it, whether you're listening to it or whether you're playing it. And we are going to take it under consideration as something that we will continue to do whenever we play in cover jam-oriented settings.
Yes.
Because it's a good crowd pleaser, especially if you've got someone who's named Gloria that happens to be in the audience. Guaranteed.
And if you've got anybody in the audience over 60, and they'll remember this song.
Yes, they will remember this song. It's one that I don't think has gone away.
No.
So take that under consideration. We'll be back again with another episode soon, we hope. Until then,
peace out.